How we doing, East Harrison Street community? Hope you're staying in, staying warm, and staying out of the snow. So, hey, I want to talk to you about a little story. I'm going to tell you a story about this little guy. He was born in this little village to a peasant lady. And he grew up in a small village, not far away. He worked in a carpenter shop until he was 30. And he never wrote a book. He never held an office. He never went to college. And he never visited a big city or traveled further than 200 miles from the place where he was born. He did none of these things that are usually associated with greatness. And he had no credentials. He was 33 years old when his friends ran away. Even one of them denied him. He was turned over to his enemies, and he went through a mockery of a trial. He was nailed to a cross and hung between two thieves. As he was hanging there, his executioners were gambling for the only property that he owned, his clothes. When he was dead, they put him in a borrowed tomb because he didn't have one of his own. 19 centuries have come and gone since then. That's right. Today, we're talking about Jesus. And he's still the central figure of the human race. All the armies that have ever marched, all the navies that have ever sailed, all the parliaments that have ever sat, or all the kings that have ever reigned, put together, have not affected mankind as much as Jesus. That powerful name, Jesus. There's a song that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorites. There's just something about that name. And it goes as Jesus, Jesus. There's just something about that name. Master, Savior, Jesus. Like the fragrance after the rain. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Let all heaven and earth proclaim. Kings and kingdoms will all pass away. But there's something about that name. Well, there is something about that name. Maybe you don't know that name. Just who is this Jesus of Nazareth that we're talking about? One time, his disciples were sitting around and Jesus asked them this question. Who do you say I am? Why is this question important? Because upon your answer to this question hangs your salvation. Did you get that? What hangs here is your salvation. Jesus wants to forgive us. He wants to deliver us. He wants to set us free. But first, you must believe that he is the Son of God, that he came here born of a virgin, that he walked this earth, did his miracles, and died on that cross for you and I. Buried in that tomb for 3 days, rose again, and now sitting in the heavenly throne next to his Father. There's something about that name, the power of that name. If you don't know him, and you want to know him, all you have to do is ask and believe. Ask and believe. You know, if you have any questions, down below there's a link to our website, which has our phone numbers, and you can get a hold of us. There's a prayer link in there. You can ask for prayer. Type in. Don't have to respond any other than that. And it'll come to us, and our prayer team will be praying for you. But there is something about that name. As we're coming upon Easter, there is something powerful about that name. And if you want to learn more about that name, please let us know. Is he your Lord? Is he your God? If he's not, he can be. Remember, there's something about that name. There is so much power. Wednesday's Words of Wisdom talks about forgiveness and being redeemed through the power of his name. Have a great week. We'll see you on Sunday at 10 a.m.